morning and welcome back to 5-Minute Monday Trends on Tuesday. As yesterday, we celebrated the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. Today is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022, and joining me, as always, is Dr. Timothy Bray, UTD EPPS professor and director of the Institute for Urban Policy Research. Dr. Bray, how are our COVID numbers looking this week?
Well, Dani, as you can see, our numbers are still relatively high from the Omicron variant. As of Sunday, we had 94,000, almost 100,000 new cases in North Texas in the week before. Now, that's down from the previous week, down 18% from our real high of 116,000 new cases. Remember that cases tend to run 10 to 14 days as we're counting them when we count active cases. So that's why we still see a huge active case volume, 210,520 active cases. I want to give you just a bit of a perspective of what this looks like in the data. So let's look at the trend that we have here in North Texas. I'm going to use our dashboard and go to state and county trends. And this is the Omicron mark that you see right here at the top left graph when we look at active cases by date. We peaked on Friday, January 14th, so just last Friday, with close to a million active cases in Texas. This is about 3 times higher than our peak in January of 2021 when we were beginning to deal with our first real sort of Delta outbreak. So what we're beginning to see, though, is that numbers are coming back down. Let's look specifically at Dallas County here. And you can see Dallas County's new cases have actually, they peaked at around almost 6,000 new cases in a 7-day average. Now they're beginning to drop down to numbers that are back in range. Now, that doesn't mean we're through this yet. If we look at what happened in South Africa, the South Africa COVID Omicron event had a massive peak followed by several decreasing peaks. And we suspect that's what we're going to see here. The UT Southwestern model, as of last week, was looking at peak hospitalizations peaking somewhere in February, early February to mid-February, which means we're probably pretty close to our peak of new cases. But that remains to be seen. We have to continue to be vigilant. We have to continue to wash our hands, to maintain social distancing, and to speak with our healthcare providers about what vaccine is right for us.
Thanks, Dr. Bray. And I'm sure you get this question a lot, but do we, based on those models, both kind of the South African trends and UTSW's model, when do we see Omicron decreasing, right? The cases going down consistently without peaks?
It's still probably a month or two out before we're sort of all the way through what's going on with Omicron. Because this particular variant was so highly contagious, it means that it burns through the population at a much faster rate. The less contagious a variant is, the longer it takes, because the longer it takes to infect more hosts. So because it's so contagious, we expect it to move fairly quickly through the population. I think by spring, we won't be talking about Omicron anymore.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bray. If you are looking to deep dive into more of this COVID-19 data, we have an event coming up with Dr. Bray, a COVID-19 conversation. It is next week on January 25th. Dr. Bray will be here, as well as Dr. Lee Aubrey from the Student Health Center and our Chief of Staff and Vice President, Dr. Rafael Martin. More information is in the description, and we will see you next week on 5-Minute Mondays. Thanks, Dr. Bray.
Thank you, Dani.